life a little bit, and mainly the power of gratitude and the things that I've learned recently. Well, the things that I've been learning my whole life and I'm really getting down to the bottom of recently. So, my life has been very amazing, actually. I'm very grateful for everything in my life. But I've always had a lot of health problems and, just was, in the hospital a lot as a kid with asthma, had chronic eczema, all over my body as a kid until I was, late 12. Fucking things wrong with my eyes. I had ulcers under my eyes as a kid. Still have, eye problems a little bit. I had some really bad stuff that, I almost went blind. I was, in bed for 2 years when I was 15 with gut problems that they couldn't figure out. I ended up figuring out. Got a colonoscopy, basically everything that can happen has happened to me. And I never let my inner joy be affected by that externally. But internally, I always ask, why is this happening to me? Why me? Why can't it happen to somebody else? And it's a fair question to ask when you see everybody else being able to do things that you can't do. And everybody else looks normal and you look all messed up. It's a fair question. But I learned something that made it worth it, which is that anger and those feelings of why me are finite. They can only last for so long as you let them last. And what's left over is gratitude and love, and gratitude for love. This is really the question of death. I faced death many times. And I didn't really realize that, but death is finite. Everybody dies. And I think you only die when you're ready. But everybody dies. And so inherently it must be finite. And what happens when you die is you go back to a state of complete love and gratitude. Which means that those things are infinite. When I sit and meditate and think, the best moments are when I feel infinite. And that's when you're completely present. You don't allow thoughts that are finite to penetrate you. You just think about what is and what will always be. And each present moment has that. It also has lack. It both has the abundance and the lack. And when I think about what it means to have a good life, and what it means to be content, and what it means to be peaceful, at peace, I think it's how much time do you spend in that presence of the infinity? How little do you give in to the finite and confusing nature of the world, and how much do you surrender to infinity? And when I think about gratitude, you can't even begin to describe the gratitude you feel for everything. It's impossible. And spending time in that is the best use of your time. And it's the best thing that you can inspire in others, is gratitude and awe. I notice that when I feel most grateful is when I'm in awe of things. When I'm like, wow, this is crazy. If you could see what I'm looking at, you would also understand why I'm kind of in awe right now. But even when you're not looking at like a beautiful scape, you can look at anything and you can find awe in it. The closer you look, the more awe you find. And that awe is within you. You can be in awe of yourself because there is a piece of infinity in you that is different from everything else that's living. Like, there is a piece of God in you. And the more you nurture that part of you, and the more you feel with that part of you, the more sensitive you are of that part of you, the less everything else matters. And the more space you have to give to others. And at the end of the day, like, I don't think anything matters more than spreading that feeling and spreading that idea, that knowledge. And so when I look back on those times, or when I, feel like I don't have what I want now, I've changed my mindset to be like, dude, look at everything you do have. You can have nothing, and you still have everything. And we're trapped mentally, thinking that we have so little when we have so much. We have so much. We have everything. And we've convinced ourselves, we've been convinced by the powers that be, our parents, our loved ones, the people that are closest to us, that there isn't enough. And there's only not enough gratitude, and there's only not enough awe. There's only not enough peace. And that's only because we're in that state. There's plenty of it. It's right here for all of us to use, access whenever we want. But we choose not to. And, I don't choose that anymore. I choose to be in awe. And I choose to wonder, and I choose to create. Another thing that I've learned, and I watched in a YouTube video one time, is like the Hebrew word for God, and there's creation and there's death. And so that saying in business that your business is either growing or it's dying is true. It's also true of life, of you. You're either growing or you're dying. In other words, you're either creating or you're dying. Creating something new within yourself, creating something new outside of yourself, in others, or in an object, a piece of content, a book, something. Those are expressions of God. Those are expressions of awe and of infinity, eternity. Non-original thought and consumption of things that you do not plan to use is also death. And so I think about, I spend a lot of time scrolling, and when you think about it from that perspective, I spend less. I've been spending less. That's a form of death, and those anxious thoughts that you maybe in the moment you've convinced yourself are important in some way, those are manifestations of death as well. And another trap is thinking that you know what I was going to say. I don't know what I was going to say. Shit. I don't know. On another note, thoughts of love and thoughts of gratitude. Oh, I know what I was going to say. Your subconscious right now is tuned to the idea of death and lack. Likely, most people are. Almost everybody is. And just because that's the way that you think naturally right now, or that's your predominant subconscious state, does not mean that it can't be changed. Another manifestation of death is thinking that what is currently will be. The only things that are like that are principles like gravity. Gravity's not going to change. You know, the nature of things aren't going to change, but the nature of you can change. The way you think can change, the way you act can change, the way you speak can change, and the way you are can change. And you have to be willing to create and explore that to find that out. And you have to be willing to change. You have to be willing to transform. At the end of the day, that's what life is. It's a constant transformation. Every 7 years, every single cell in your body is replaced. 7 years from now, every single cell in your body will be completely new. And you will, in essence, have a completely new body. That's a pretty powerful transformation. And your thoughts are a huge component of what creates your body and tunes your cells with your nervous system. And so your thought is arguably the most important part of creating a new you and transforming effectively. And that's why we must think in terms of gratitude and think in terms of love and think in terms of infinity and eternity rather than scarcity. There's no other option at this point. I mean, if you're here in the video, you're probably pretty on board with that idea. So, yeah, I just wanted to share a bit more about myself and a bit more about what I've learned. You know who I am. And much of this is like a feeling thing. Like, you have to open your heart up to be able to feel gratitude and love and feel it deeply. You know, those thoughts are, you think them to evoke the feeling, and that feeling is what is infinite. And I'm not going to cry because this is a YouTube video, but I could. See, maybe I should, because that's like, you know, it's, you know, much of, like, I'm at a place now where I don't give a fuck anymore. Like, truly, I don't care about what people, I mean, I do care about what people think of me now. Let me hold on that to an extent, but like, I'm not afraid to be myself, and I'm not afraid to feel deeply. Like, I'm not afraid to express my love, because what else is there to do? Like, at the end of the day, what else is there to do? Keep it inside? That is the point of this all, is to express your love and give it to others and share. And I really do love everybody that I can touch, and everybody that I can't. Like, sometimes I also like spend a lot of time with the earth, and the earth loves every single human more than we can imagine. And she asks us not to forget about her. And I'm not talking about pollution, I'm talking about us going and spending time in nature. That's why it's here. It's here to serve us. And we are its servants in a way. Everything about this experience we're having is so, like, it's so ludicrous that it's hard to wrap your head around. But I can tell you for sure that you're more than you've been told you are, and you're more than you could ever imagine. You can't even comprehend the power that you have. I can't comprehend the power that I have. But you know, I can do my best to use it. We can all do our best to use it. And the greatest power is through that love. So I think I need to make more videos like this. And if you made it towards now, end of the video, can I flip the script? Wait. What the? Yeah, I don't know. Beat this shit. Beat this shit though. Come on though. Yeah. Anyway. Have a great one.